Hello and welcome. I'm Wise Old Tree, and this is a review of Dimension 20, Season 21, Fantasy High Junior Year. Starting with an overview, Fantasy High Junior Year is a live play D&D series produced by Dropout and released in the first half of 2024. It's a full 20-episode series, with episodes averaging over 2 hours apiece. Brennan Lee Mulligan is the game master, and the players are Emily Axford, Zach Oyama, Siobhan Thompson, Lou Wilson, Allie Beardsley, and Brian Murphy. This is the third installment of the Fantasy High series starring the Bad Kids, although it's the fifth season in the Fantasy High universe. The story follows along the adventures of the Bad Kids after the events of Fantasy High freshman year and sophomore year. The story also chronologically takes place after Pirates of the Leviathan and The Seven, and while I consider neither to be required viewing before watching junior year, The Seven does have some story connectivity, while Pirates has basically none. For my overall impressions, well, junior year is the same universe, same characters, and same storyline as previous Fantasy High series. So by now, you know if you like the series or not. If you are a fan, then you won't be disappointed. Junior year is a real step up in production value and cast performance, chiefly because everyone has so much more experience in the 21st season compared to the first and fourth. This is also the first season where this group of school children actually, attend school. Previous seasons implied it was happening in the background, a few scenes here and there at the school in freshman year, but this season school is gamified to see how well the students are doing in their classes, how engaged they are in extracurriculars, how they're managing their personal relationships, and how stressed out they are trying to keep everything floating all at once. I really like this system as a representation of school life, but if I had one complaint, I wish it was more apparent when these school life checks were made and how many more there would be. School has a pretty set and known end date for students, but Brennan would seemingly ask for checks whenever he wanted more of them in the story. Another thing that bothered me this season is the way that combats get split between episodes. Freshman year did dedicated combat episodes, and sophomore year's looser style and lack of sets did combat as needed. Junior year sort of meshes the two with full sets but less adherence to a rigid schedule, and this means a number of the combat scenes get split between episodes. It's a little less jarring watching them all at once instead of week to week, but I don't know, it's just not my favorite way of constructing and editing together episodes. This season, my favorite bad kid is Gorgug Thistlespring, played by Zach Oyama. Gorgug has always been a character I liked, but I came away from the first two seasons wishing there had been a little bit more. Well, I finally got my wish this season. Zach throws Gorgug through a difficult academic track, and the result is something inspiring. It's a narrative that makes sense for the character, is a creative exploration of both story and game mechanics, and is a fun time through the entire season. As for a rating, I'm going to give Season 21 of Dimension 20 Fantasy High Junior Year a 3 out of 5. I still think this is a solid season of Fantasy High, but I didn't like it quite as much as freshman or sophomore years. The production and sets are the best they've ever been, and the players are experienced and confident and have great chemistry. I just can't help but feel that this season is spinning its wheels a bit. There was an effort to try and move the season away from the bits and gags of previous seasons, which was an effort with mixed results. It's fun to revisit the classics, but I felt the season spent a little bit too much time retelling previous jokes and stories, and therefore too little time developing new ones. The PC arcs for junior year are very hit or miss for me, with some characters rehashing old developments or going in honestly strange directions with the characters. And the overall plot is serviceable, but it just never quite captivated me the same way that the first two seasons did. Also, because I'm now about caught up with the present at time of making these, I can briefly mention a theoretical senior year. After junior year, it would feel awkward if they didn't finish off the academic year with a fourth season, but I do admit I'm a bit worried. Not enough that I don't want to see a senior year, but I hope it can avoid being like a late season in a sitcom that's been on a bit too long. All right, that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and see you next time for Season 22, Never Stop Blowing Up.